Hey guys, welcome to my channel. And I've just arrived home after watching Joker 2. And this is going to be my immediate reaction after watching this film. My thoughts: is it any good? Is it worth your money to go to the cinema and watch it? I'm going to be talking about all of those things on today's episode. So, if you are into movies, if you're into series, if you're into music and Manchester United, this is the channel for you. So, please subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos, and also smash the like button, comment, and share. Let's get straight into it. Joker, Joker 2. I'm not going to even bother pronouncing this name for this movie because I currently am sitting here quite disappointed at what I've seen. But let me start off with the description and what this movie is all about. So, Joker is a 2024 American musical psychological thriller film directed by Todd Phillips from a screenplay he co wrote with Scott Silver, loosely based on DC Comics characters. It is a sequel to Joker 2019 and stars Joaquin Phoenix reprising his role as the character, with Lady Gaga joining as his love interest, Harley Quinn. So let me just start off by saying that I'm not mad about this movie from a cinematography perspective. The cinematography was beautiful. I think there was a stunning job with the colors used to express certain emotions and to express certain stages of the film was really good. The acting was really good, as you would expect from Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. They are obviously the main players in this movie, so I'm going to be talking mostly about their performance because they are the heart and soul of this movie, their relationship. If you don't know anything about Batman, then I'll maybe just give you some information about what made the Joker such an amazing character for me personally. The Joker has been the crown prince of crime. He's been known as that for many, many years in the comic books, in the animated series, in movies before that. He is the one thorn in Batman's side that he could never get rid of. That has always been the case with the Joker. And when the first Joker movie came out from Todd Phillips, they took a different take to what the Joker was all about. They gave it some realness to it. They made it seem a lot more realistic, giving him a disability that caused him to laugh uncontrollably, and they obviously diagnosed him in the film, of course, with some serious psychological problems, and to an extent even spoke about him as having a split personality, and they talk about it a lot in this film too. What I thought was going to be happening with the Todd Phillips version of this is a build up of the character to the point where he really becomes the crown prince of crime. And I thought that that was the direction that they were going to go with this. Bruce Wayne was a little boy in the first movie. You only catch a glimpse of him. And at the end of that first movie, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, you see a scene of his where he has caused some issues within the city after killing someone on screen, a personality on screen, a talk show host, Robert De Niro's character. And the city goes into complete meltdown, and you see a whole lot of people like the Joker, their faces painted and all of those things. You start to see him becoming that character that we all love as a villain. I mean, for me, the Joker is probably one of my favorite villains in any type of movie, film, anime, etc. Across the board, the Joker is one of my favorite villains depicted on screen. So part two comes out, and they mentioned that there was going to be a Harley Quinn in here, and that's about the only thing that I knew about it walking into this film. So now I'm going to give you some spoilers going into this film and what my thoughts are about some serious plot twists and plot turns and decisions that were made in this film that I was disappointed with. So, guys, spoiler alert: if you want to go away and do something else before you come back here, Um, I recommend that you just watch the spoiler because it will obviously dictate whether you should go to watch the movie or not. But if you don't want to see the spoiler, you can leave right now and come back a little bit later. In the Joker 2, it was a very slow film from a character building perspective. To me, you felt quite stuck in the film. You feel like you're stuck in the same position, even though the story is moving on and the days are moving on. And this is essentially about his trial for the crimes that he committed in the first movie. And he has to obviously be trialed, and they decide that they're going to give him the death penalty. And the district attorney that's going to be obviously, or the lawyer that's going to be ruling against him is Harvey Dent. As we all know, Harvey Dent is a character that is in Batman. He becomes Two-Face, so that's someone we are familiar with in the Batman story. My assumption was that they're going to build up the Joker character to a point where he becomes the Joker that we all love and know. And I know it's going to be at the beginning stages, way before Bruce Wayne actually becomes Batman, the beginning of his crime days. And we would see his growth and how he becomes a Joker and the relationship between him and Harley Quinn. Now, what they did well is that I believed the relationship between Harley Quinn and the Joker. I think they built that nicely between Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. I think that they showed the deep level of mental instability in this movie between both characters and what made them attracted to each other and actually end up falling in love. And that has always been the case in Batman. You would get that relationship from both of them. They went in a different direction than in the comic books, where we know that Harley Quinn initially was the psychiatrist and she ends up falling in love with her patient, which is the Joker, and goes crazy and she follows him and she's in love with him and she does whatever he says and they cause a lot of havoc within Gotham. They went a different direction with this one, where she was a patient as well at an asylum, and they end up meeting and then they end up falling in love. Now, on top of that, there's also a lot of musical acts in this movie. Essentially, it could be classed as a musical. And that isn't even the part that pissed me off in this movie. The main part that I was upset about was that they wasted the characters, both characters. The journey that you're on ended as quickly as it started. And spoiler alert, they kill Joaquin Phoenix in the end. So that makes it even worse for me because that isn't the way story goes. Now, I don't mind people taking their own spin on things and trying to tell a story in a different way. I really don't mind that because they went far off the storyline in the first movie with some of the things that the Joker does and what we expect from the Joker. And I was okay with it because it made sense. When you go so far off the story that it becomes laughable is where it irritates me. In my opinion, this movie completely disrespected the Joker as a character. They took away any strength that the Joker had as a character within the Batman series and they completely just smashed it. I'm extremely pissed off with Todd Phillips for what they did here, and the writing and the decisions that were made. It's not necessarily the writing for me personally. It's more the ideas that were put on the table, the plots that were put on the table, the big story arcs that they decided to go with. For me, is where it really the concept of this movie was terrible, and I actually left there extremely upset. And to be honest with you, watching the movie was to a point I was getting drawn into the character. And up until a certain point in the movie, it looked like they were going to go the direction that I thought they were going to go with. In the courtroom, he obviously gets found guilty. An explosion goes off. He escapes. And I thought that he's going to meet up with Harley Quinn. And then it would end off with them trying to plan how they're going to destroy Gotham as a pair. That's how I thought that was going to end, and that their crime antics would start then. So this would kind of be a prequel for how they became the villains that they are and the pests that they are in Gotham City. And they decided to go a completely different direction. He ends up getting caught again. She leaves him. He goes back to jail, and he ends up getting stabbed to death in the hallway of the jail by some random prisoner that kind of seemed like a mimic of what the Joker could be. The way the guy laughed and stuff like that. I was told afterwards by my sister and my cousins that there was a scene where he was cutting his mouth, etc. So maybe they wanted to set up that he's the Joker that takes over. But even then, it would be completely a waste, because then why build up a character like Joaquin Phoenix? Let us wait 5 years for a movie, for the second movie, and then just waste his character the way they have. I think they just respected the character. So I'm extremely angry, actually. I'm trying to keep my calm here, because I've already let out majority of my emotions directly after the film. But yeah, it isn't a movie necessarily that I will recommend to you guys to watch. So what I'm gonna rate it, I will first start off by letting you guys know early on what the ratings are on Rotten Tomatoes and on IMDb. So far, the ratings for this movie on IMDb, which, as you guys know from my previous reviews, is very fan driven. It's 5.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, which is a lot more critic driven, the critic score for this so far is 32% on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's an extremely low rating, which is quite shocking to me as well. So my rating for this movie is a 2 out of 5. I don't recommend this, guys. I was extremely disappointed. And I don't recommend that you guys spend your money to go watch this in the cinema. I think wait for it to come out on digital and maybe stream it, and then let me know what you guys think of that movie. But if you have watched it already and you went to the cinema, let me know what your thoughts are about the movie in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And let me know what you think. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos, please. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care. Peace.